Welcome to the
Wow.
chat. Welcome to the live stream. I'm so happy you all are here. Kirk, just say hi to the people.
Hi, everyone. Sorry about Chris's incompetence. He's getting older. I understand it's not easy to keep up with us young kids. So we appreciate your patience with Chris.
I
And
would like
I,
I would like to tell you all that last night and today I tried so hard to make Kirk stay in one position so that I could frame him in the shot. And this is what we got. Him off to the edge, kind of cut off because he literally could not just stay in a spot for a second. And I was like, I will give you as much flexibility as I can, but we still couldn't do it.
where do you want me to move right now? Left or right? Camera left or camera
Right.
right?
You're right.
Like this?
You're dead center right now. Okay. Uh, I appreciate you all. All right. So, as I was saying, we are going to collaborate on a Wolverine design and a Deadpool design. I did a garbage sketch of Deadpool and I sent that over to Kirk, and he is going to use his Adobe Illustrator process where he starts making shapes and clicking vectors. And he did some shapes for a Wolverine design that I am going to use to try to make it work in my style, using his style, and shenanigans will ensue. I did mention this earlier, but I just want to shout it out again while I'm focusing. We're going to be giving away this brand new XP Magic Drawing Pad. It's like a Android iPad. I did a video review on it, but this is another one. We're going to do this a little bit later with a trivia question that Kirk is going to ask about me. I'll try to remember to do that.
I is.
What?
I kind of forget what the question is. I'll bring up our texts.
Okay. So we're going to do that. All right. I'm recovering a little bit. I'm trying to focus on what is happening. I'm looking over at my YouTube live stream window, and it says you need to change the video resolution. The current resolution is blah blah blah, while blah blah blah. The expected resolution is blah blah blah. Hopefully, I mean, it looks like it's still happening. All right. Can real quick, I just want to look at the live stream and see to make sure it's working. Since I already messed up the beginning of this whole thing, what's another second?
It's so hard on the live stream. I can't look at it. It
It
stresses me
looks
out.
fine. I think YouTube is complaining at me for no reason. Yeah. Okay. Everything's great. I appreciate you all for bearing with us. All right. Skippy McHaggis said, yeah, the answer is probably 42, and I don't know what that means, but you don't even know the question, and the question isn't a number. So I know that you are a channel moderator, and you think that you can make jokes. Anyway, well, Kirk, how should we start? Do you want to start doing your thing first?
I can start if you want, and
Or
then
do
you
you want me to
can.
start? It's up to you.
I'll start. That way you can continue talking a little bit and we can ease into it.
All right, so
Uh,
let me switch over to the screen, and we're going to hope that we got this sorted out. Looks like it's good. I would like to say that in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you will see on rotation the current Super Sporter and above channel members, which I couldn't do without you. So thank you all. There's a couple new additions that didn't get added in yet, but I have them on my iPad that I'm going to show when I switch to my iPad at some point. Kirk, you need to switch to your screen.
okay.
Oop, we got this. Okay, so this is the Deadpool rough sketch that I sent over to Kirk, and he's going to talk about his process turning this into something and how he works using Adobe Illustrator. So I'll let you talk, Kirk, and I'll be looking at the chat and talking a little bit too.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, hi everyone. Chris sent over this sketch, which is very. I asked him not to like make the sketch too pointed or like give me too much direction, and to instead just give me something like really sort of vanilla and basic. And so he gave me this very like just shapes and composition, which is really helpful for me because I get stressed out with a blank page. So Chris giving me like anything just to start is really helpful. And normally, typically, I would like do my own. I would sketch over this maybe in Photoshop or on the iPad or something. But I'm just going to work directly off of his sketch and try to improvise a little bit and change some things as I feel inspired. Like Chris left out a lot of like the details in like Deadpool's like clothing and armor and straps and stuff like that intentionally. So I'm just going to kind of add those in Illustrator as I go. But the way I start is I'm just gonna like block out shapes with the pen tool and worry about color later, worry about details later. I just kind of, it's almost like I'm cutting pieces of paper. And I'm already kind of ignoring some of Chris's drawing just because I want to have a neck.
Nobody needs a neck.
No, I don't think it's necessary.
This is how I'm going to make your Wolverine.
Yeah. Wolverine doesn't have a neck, doesn't need a neck.
I guess Deadpool does.
Yeah. And I'm going to build the character in as many like shapes as I can so I can move it later, because sometimes or oftentimes I work in animation too, where it's really helpful to have lots of different shapes. Yeah.
Brad Nolan, you asked me, you said you were trying to figure out how to become a super member or whatever and couldn't find the button. So that's the channel memberships. We've got 3 different tiers. We've got a regular member, which, you know, you're amazing. And then we've got super supporters and the My New BFF. So underneath the video window, you should see channel memberships, and that's where you could sign up. I do the name drawings for super supporters and above because if I had to do it for all of the members, it just wouldn't be feasible. I would love to draw all the names, but I couldn't do it. It just there wouldn't be enough time. So super supporters and above get their name drawn and included in all the videos I make while they are active members. And usually sometimes longer than that, because sometimes they cancel and YouTube doesn't tell me and doesn't make it easy to find out. So I will include them for a long time, and then I'll be like, I need to check this list again, and then I check and I'm like, oh, this person dumped me forever ago. Who knows when they dumped me? They hate my channel and I'm putting their name in all my videos. They probably don't hate it. They just didn't want to pay monthly. I get it.
I'm so tough.
Okay. So that's that. This is their channel memberships. It's on the thing. There's usually a thing that pops up whenever I look at my channel on a browser. It'll like pop up. Do you want to become a member? And I'm like, a member of what? Me? I'm already paying for me to be me. Okay.
How many fingers do you want this Deadpool to have? You drew 4. You want a 5th or no?
Oh, I don't care. You can decide.
Okay, I'll give him a pinky.
I go back and forth. Sometimes I just do 3 fingies and a thumb.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do 4. I think it depends on the overall vibe.
Same.
Never 6 though.
No.
That's how you know you're a robot.
Yeah, that's when you're AI.
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT.
Not Adobe Illustrator.
No, ChatGPT.
So Kirk and I have been friends for a long time. I first met him when he had like a normal job as like I don't even know. He did stuff. And I bullied him into going full-time freelance as an illustrator. And he's done a great job.
Thanks, man. That was like 10 years ago. It was in 2015.
Will says that Chris looks like a puffish.
fuck is that? Ban Will.
That is rude. Rude, Will.
They're gonna call me a lobster.
Okay. Jenna, Kirk is he's using Adobe Illustrator on a computer
Yes.
on his MacBook Pro.
Yeah. I can switch.
He's so
How?
you want to tell us anything about what you're doing over there? You're just clicking shapes. What are you doing?
I, well, this is this thing that I'm working on. I'm working on a
Oh
big
yeah.
tablet. I won't stay on this long because I don't know how well it's cropped, but I can stay on it for a second. I'm basically just like using my pen tool in Adobe Illustrator just to make a bunch of shapes. And I'm working on just the outline for now. And I'm improvising a little bit based on Chris's sketch, but trying to stay faithful to it. And I'm just using the pen tool, and then sometimes I'm using the Pathfinder tool to make the shapes like mask into each other and snap together. And yeah, I'm. This is like a very relaxing way for me to work to start. So I'm just improvising and like having fun with it. And later I'll bring some color in and make it a little bit more intentional. But I gotta go on Do Not Disturb. I'm getting texts. Yeah, I'll bring in color. Well, I'll wait until we can switch to you after. But this is what I'm doing.
Hey Nick, feel free to share. You said you did a Deadpool and Illustrator, and you want to share it from Behance. Yeah, definitely share it. Hey, while you're finagling on this, maybe I should open up the Wolverine you sent me and start getting mine ready. Should we do that? Should we switch over for a little bit?
Yeah.
Let's do. I'm gonna do a switch. I'm gonna do a switcheroni over here. Let's see if it works. Boom. All right. So, Kirk. Oh, you know what? I should switch to. No. Do I have that option?
Do you want me to switch to just my face now?
No. You can keep working. I think
Okay.
I'm gonna. I think I can switch to. Nope. You're just gonna be cropped a little bit. Okay. No big deal.
That's fine.
Okay. So Kirk sent me this Wolverine, and I am gonna make a Wolverine out of it. But I'm gonna move some of these parts around because let me move my mic a little closer so I can look at my screen. I depend on certain. I depend on like facial features and I don't know, just a lot of stylization for my characters. So I can't work with a head this small. So I'm going to rebuild this to suit my style, but I'm going to use the parts that he's given me. So let's grab a head. So I'm going to make this head a wee bigger. Because like this Kirk's style is super cool and looks good, but like I can't do anything with it. So I need to do my own version. So let's grab.
It's funny. I like told you, like, oh, I'll make sure I'll give you like you're really good at drawing faces and drawing like details in the face. So I'll make sure that I give you something you can draw in, and I gave you something with the tiniest head ever, and like a mask where you can't even really draw much of the face.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I am gonna just kind of. I'm not gonna change his shape. I told you I'm getting rid of the neck. Later neck. I don't need a neck.
Wow. Interesting.
Make it a little bit bigger. Maybe I don't know. I'm keeping the proportions intact too. Like I'm trying to not mess with it too much, but we'll do that. I think I want these shoulder pad things a little bit smaller. Maybe a little more vertical. Like that. And then let's see. I think I'm gonna keep this like this part of the arm big, but then I'm gonna shrink down. You know what? These claws. I'm drawing my own claws because I'm excited. I want to draw my own claws. I think I'm gonna bend the wrist a little bit. So it's helpful that he gave me this stuff in like individual shapes, because it's very easy for me to maneuver this stuff around. Look like that. That's looking pretty good for me. And then let's grab a leg. I'm gonna make these legs a little smaller, and then give it a little bit of a wider stance, if you will. Let's transform or reflect this. Okay. Yeah, the good Chad. Oh, also, sorry, I forgot. There's another channel moderator in the house, the good Chad. Well, I have so many. We could take over the world. Good Chad said, "Don't forget to smash the thumbs. Let's smash some thumbs." We only got how many likes we got? We got 60 people watching right now. I think that's pretty okay. I think that stat isn't actually accurate because I feel like it never says that many, but then when I look at the stats afterwards, it'll be like 120 congruent viewers. Okay, send it back. All right, let's scooch this leg a skosh. A Nova Scotia. Get it? Nova Scotia? I don't know what that means. Just trying to line that up a little bit so it lines up with the undies accurately.
Do you want me to look at chat so I can see if anyone's asking questions? Or
I'm trying to glance at it, but you could do that too. Yeah, maybe you can see if anyone has questions for Kirk. Ask him a question.
It doesn't screw you up if I interrupt you, right? Like, the delay is not that bad between you and I.
Okay. Actually, I forgot that the channel moderator. So if you have a question and I don't see it, you can at one of the channel moderators. They're blue with a wrench next to their name. I believe you see that, and they can at me and I see that accurately. So first one, I just need to respond to a question. Diana Lisa is saying, "You were a bully 10 years ago." That can because I bullied you into doing it. Yeah,
God.
but it was more supportive bullying. It was like, you are way too good to have a job. Daryl asked Kirk if he has an iPad. He has an iPad. He's not using it right now, though. And then Skippy said, "Make Kirk tell us what his tech is." Yeah, tell us let's talk about your setup. I'm going to switch back to your screen, and then I'll keep getting this thing ready. So you can work on tell us your tech.
Yeah. Let me switch to what I'm doing here. Okay. So I'm working on Wacom Cintiq that's brand new. They sent me recently because I did a workshop with them. Really enjoyed.
Cintiq.
Look, it's the best thing ever, and I have an old one that Chris wants. He's begging me for, so I'm gonna charity that over to him, and I'm using my nice new one. And I'm working in Adobe Illustrator, and I'm working on a MacBook up above me here. I don't want to move the camera because I'm afraid of the focus situation. And I don't know, I could do a full desk. I like gizmos and gadgets, but
I like Whoosies and What's It's galore. So I thought we were singing Little Mermaid.
Oh. No.
You want thingamabobs? I got plenty, but who cares? I want more.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a nice song. That's a very nice song. Yeah, I do have a bunch of thingamabobs and wires and gizmos, but basically this is everything, and it's just plugged into my laptop. And I do a lot of my shortcuts on my keyboard here, especially when I'm in Illustrator. When I'm in Photoshop, I don't really use that many shortcuts, but when I'm in Illustrator, I'm doing lots of that stuff. And especially with like the Pathfinder, mostly the Pathfinder, and then just like cutting and pasting shapes. So often I'll like be highlighting a group of shapes like this torso and then cutting it and like putting it behind the chest, or like just rearranging the layers without actually using layers in Illustrator because I don't like those. I just use groups a lot. But that's my tech. Back to you, Chris.
Cool tech.
Thanks, man.
So I hold on one second. I'll switch back and update you all on what's happening over here. I think I have Wolverine in a good place, and I just changed the colors. Hold on. Uh, so the colors on the left are a cool color palette, but I like punchier colors, so I punched them up a little bit. I needed a little bit more contrast. So this is what I'm going to use to draw on top of. So that's what Kirk sent. I stayed true to his shapes. I just changed them a little bit. I did draw a new arm on the left so that I could, because this one is not meant to be bent, and he drew it as one shape. So there's that. So what I'm gonna do is send this over to my iPad and open it up in Fresco and do some drawing over there. Jody Kelly, thank you so much for joining live. Glad that you are here. Nick has given me a hard time about you telling them that I'm making you give me your welcome. To be clear, he's basically charging me retail value for it. If we want to,
I'm ripping you off. Yeah. Well,
all right,
Chris is doing really well right now, and I need some money, and so I'm ripping him off.
I'm just gonna save this. I'm gonna switch back to Kirk while I get transferred over to my iPad. I'm just exporting a PNG, and I'm just gonna open that in Fresco, so I can draw on it, because that's where I like to draw.
Okay. Are we gonna
so you're full screen now. Look at this.
Okay.
You already got a cool Deadpool going on. I gotta hurry
Yeah,
up.
I started in color, and I also grabbed a reference because I don't remember what Deadpool has going on. So I see he has lots of strips and straps and stuff like that all over him. So I'm avoiding the legs like the plague right now because I don't know if I want to commit to these legs or if I want to sketch new ones. So I'm avoiding those, and that's kind of the way I work, is just like jumping all over the place. And I've got like things that I'm gonna change. Like I have like outlines around the hand. That's just for now until I figure out how I want to deal with it. I'll typically not use any outlines around my artwork, but I will use some line detail like for his tummy. So I'm kind of still figuring it out as I go. But that's the nice thing, is like I can just drag things around until I'm satisfied. Because I don't feel Chris just draws. I'm very envious of that ability, and I don't. My drawing isn't my strongest, but I can build things pretty well. So I rely a lot on like dragging and moving things around and just like zooming out and trying to figure out what's going on with it. So it's a very non-linear workflow. I want to emphasize this.
There was a couple questions that I saw in the chat that I'm just gonna look at real quick. Sylvie, you said, do you think Adobe will ever make Fresco for desktop so we could use our tablet? So Fresco was built from the ground up for the iPad. And it's very much a mobile app, and I think that's why it's so good. I think when things move to the desktop, they get a little convoluted. I would love a more streamlined drawing application for the desktop. But I don't know. The thing about the iPad is so much better with like touch integration and gestures than the Wacom is. So I don't think it would work as well. If you do want to use it, you could do it with Windows. Fresco is available on Windows, but the only reason it's available on Windows Desktop is because it's a technicality, because they made it for Windows tablets, but Windows doesn't use like a separate OS, so it just works on the desktop too. That's why it doesn't work on the Mac, because it's a different operating system. Love to not just say what I'm thinking. Let's see. Whoa, what did I just do? Oh, I sent it to the wrong screen. Go back. Okay. I was trying to airdrop the iPad to my iPad, and I airdropped it to the other iPad because I have two iPads going right now. I'm using one as a monitor, and then I have this other one here because I'm selling my old iPad Pro. So if anyone's interested, shoot me an email. But I haven't done that yet, so I'm using it as a monitor at the moment until I get the Cintiq.
We're focused on you right now, or just on my screen.
Okay, yeah, but you should talk because I'm getting my file, and I couldn't
Okay.
airdrop it because the other iPad was being there. So
Whoa, baby Nick Giola. Giola.
holy
Oh,
moly! Thanks so much,
wow.
Nick. You're the best.
That's huge. That's
Yeah,
so nice.
I'm not giving any of
Um,
that to Kirk.
I don't need it. I'm ripping you off for the welcome. I'm gonna read
I'm
some
just kidding.
questions if I can. Let's see.
I think you can
I
do
need
it.
money too. Nick says as he donates so generously. What kind of hobbies do you guys do outside of your art lives? I can answer for Chris. He likes to rollerblade, and Kirk likes to skateboard. Very often, Chris and I will do that together as sort of like, wheeled sports was one of our first things that we did outside of drawing. Chris used to ride bikes a lot more, and he sort of reignited his passion for inline rollerblading. So we'll
Also,
go to the
racing
skate park.
cars.
And yeah, Chris also a race car driver, pretty legitimately. Also, he likes to buy and sell cars. Chris has had.
No, I don't like that. I
Well,
like
be
what?
quiet. Chris has had. Let's see. 15. I mean, at least 15 cars since I've known him. And I think that's a conservative estimate and guess. I would say at the very least 15. If you told me 20, I wouldn't be super shocked. So Chris wheels and deals and buys and sells used automobiles a
It's
lot.
not intentional. It's not intentional. It just happens.
It's part of your.
I'm switching to my iPad screen. Just let me interrupt Kirk real quick to just shout out the two newest super supporters, Brian Kalanga, hopefully I said that right, and Janae Ko. Thank you so much. All right, I'll let you talk again in a minute, Kirk. I just want to just get started with this my Wolverine. So I got this. Let me just answer Skippy's question real quick. So in terms of race car driving, I'm not like, professional race car driver. I do autocross, which is, not expensive, low budget. It's like a coned course that you try to do the fastest time. And then I do a handful of track days a year, not racing on track. The racing I do is autocross. Track days are like a fun thing. The expensive part is tires, but it is other habits are more expensive. So there's that. I have Kirk's. Well, I have my version of Kirk's Wolverine that I adapted, just changed proportions a little bit, and I'm just gonna draw directly on this. I think I'm just gonna go right in and sort of wing it, just without sketching. So I'm gonna grab the. I feel like because the lines are so clean here, I should use the crispy liner from my Retro Supply Co set. Link below. Speaking of my Retro Supply Co set, the Procreate version is finished and will be available very soon. All right, so I am just going to come in here and freestyle an eyeball. Make him a little angry. I feel like Wolverine's putting like a bag under the eye for some reason, even though it's a mask. Because, why not? Who cares? I do whatever I want.
200 years old, the river, right?
Is what?
Wolverine's like 200 years old, so bagged under the eyes.
He's pretty old. Those eyes are weird. These eyes are kind of big. I don't know. I guess maybe I should have sketched. I'm going to do like a funnier nose. Like this. I don't know. I think those eyes might need to get smaller. We'll see. This is why I like to sketch. And then he's always mad, so I'm doing like a big mad mouth. like this, and then some mad teeth. I'll let Kirk. You can talk again while I'm
Okay, there was a
apparently drawing
question.
Beavis over here.
How did you two figure out posture? I've got some elbows from laying down on the bed. So, oh, Chris has had a lot of issues with Daryl. Your question about posture. I know Chris has had like tennis elbow really bad and stuff. It seems like you've been rehabbing and doing pretty well for yourself lately. How would you say your posture and health are, Chris?
Um, Posture is not been my issue. My issue is um, my elbow and my shoulder take turns being uh, just like which one is going to be the most painful item in my life at the moment. Um, right now, it's like my outer forearm situation is like just wildly tight, and I try to like stretch a little bit. I don't. The problem is I forget. Like I do some stretches and then it's not hurting, and then I forget to maintain because I'm bad at that kind of thing. So I don't know. I'm always just trying to like break up the scar tissue that's there. I did like it got really bad at one point, and I had to get a bunch of physical therapy, where they were just like breaking up the fascia forever, and it like sounded like Rice Krispies, and it was gross. And then it got bad again because I can't remember to do anything when it's like not. It's like the ADHD where it's not, if it's not a pressing issue, I can't think about it. So that's that. I don't have like back issues because a lot of my, like I use a sit stand desk, not to stand necessarily, but I raise it up when I'm drawing so that I'm not hunched over. And then I do a lot of my drawing sitting on the couch at night. Like I feel like when I'm at my desk, I do a lot of non-drawing stuff, and then I catch up on a lot of drawing at night on the couch where I'm not leaned at all. But that makes my elbow and shoulder hurt bad. Yeah, that's my answer to that question.
The question was, how did you figure out posture? I would say Chris basically hasn't figured out posture, but he's tried to purchase an expensive desk to fix it and is having trouble with that. For me, I'm really lucky.
The desk to review.
MPU. And I got lucky and was born with the body that doesn't typically suffer from posture issues, so I can speak on that not very well. But I mean, I've been like doing more physical stuff lately, and it's really helpful. And that's probably the quickest, easiest answer to that question. There was other questions. How did Kirk find his style? My style comes from my lack of ability to do a lot of things. Like I said, I don't draw really, really well, and I don't say that like in a silly way. I just like I don't sit down. Like when I got my MFA, my master's, I was always around like illustrators that just had like notebooks out, and they were like always drawing, and they just loved like doodling and markers and pens and brushes and stuff. And it would stress me out so much that I would feel like I'm not an illustrator. But like I really like making images. I just don't love like drawing them with pencils and stuff. So my style kind of comes from me having to figure out roundabout ways to draw things. Like I don't know how to render hair really well. Like I don't know how to do shading and things like that. So instead, I will lean really heavy on shape language to show the hair. And I think as a result, that has forced me into a bit of a style. And then all the other obvious things that like, I really liked whatever. I like furniture and shape and form that comes from the design of furniture, and that kind of implements it. But heavily, I think my style is derived from my inabilities to draw, which is a good thing. Your weakness is your superpower. So happy to catch the live.
Hey, Kirk, how do you feel about what I'm doing to your drawing?
Dude, I can't. So I can pull up the YouTube, but it'll be like I think 15
Oh, you can't see it. Sorry, never mind.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, I can look on YouTube though. Let me give you a quick little critique. Don't worry, I got you. I will pull up Chris's and make sure I mute the stream. Yeah, I don't know. It's I think considerably far behind, so it's hard for me to. Oh no, I see it now. Love it. It does look like Beavis and Butthead in the face. Loving the torso. love. I mean, yeah, those are the things I wish I could just like draw for funsies. Um, what are you drawing right now, Chris, so I can know how far behind I am?
Drawing his X belt buckle.
Oh, okay, it's pretty darn up to date then. I just saw you finish the second like part of the X. I'm gonna keep going. Does Kirk ever lose a shape if he moves it in the back? Illustrating. Do I move? Yes, I sometimes I'll lose shapes, but I kind of have like a library in my head of what I've been drawing or what I have going on, and so I always know where shapes are, so I don't really lose them very often. Sometimes what I'll do is just like push Command A and like highlight all of my shapes so that I can then see if something did get lost, or you can push Control or Command Y and go into outline mode and kind of dig them up from there. But I've just been using Illustrator for so long that it's like a second language to me, so it doesn't happen too often, but I can see where it would for people early on. The good chat. I'm just now using a MacBook with my iPad instead of a PC, and wow, everything's so much better. Yeah, the sidecar and like the ability to like wirelessly use an iPad like as a tablet is so crazy. Chris, I like square pizza.
Do I? We? Is that Jenna doing square pizza stuff again? Because you are out of control.
Yep. Yeah, no, you're a bit of a pizza guy, and you do. Whenever I talk to Chris privately, and we're like at his house or whatever, he's always talking about that he only likes square pizzas. So Jenna, any of your suspicions are confirmed through me. So don't let him gaslight you into thinking that he likes anything other than square pizza.
That is outrageous and a goddamn lie.
I'm loving the overlay Chris is doing. I like that you both gave him pupils. Yeah, I guess I real. Right. Yeah, I guess Deadpool doesn't have pupils, but I rely so heavily on pupils to make my characters like cute and silly, so I just have to do it. Let's see. Any other questions? Feel free to leave them in chat, and I like talking and answering them, so feel free to.
So I'm just like trying to add some details sorry to interrupt you. Like these arm hairs and these muscle veins. I like doing that. That's fun. And Kirk just draws like just wild shapes for these hands. So I'm going to put some fingies on here and then get the claws going. I was going to say something. I don't remember what it was. What is our plan for like you want to let's go back to Kirk for a little while, and I will I don't know, let's see what he's doing.
Yeah, you look at chat. I got to figure out these legs, and I really don't want to, and maybe that's what we can figure out together is like what I'm gonna do with these legs. I'm usually used to like a really tiny torso and then super long legs, and I think Chris, we're probably the opposite in that regard, where like normally you're bigger on the torso and tinier on the legs, and I just don't know if I should lean into that. Maybe I'll do that like baby legs thing that he had going on in one of those movies, right? He like got his legs chopped off and then they were growing back. So I'll lean into that and do little tiny legs.
Tiny legs.
Little legs.
Todd, you said shockwave therapy was a miracle for tennis elbow issues. I don't know what that is, but I would like to get my elbow electrocuted. So I've had both tennis elbow badly and golfer's elbow badly. Also never played either of those, but got those things.
What's the difference?
One's the outside, one's the inside.
Okay.
What do you, oh, you're working on legs over there?
Yeah, I'm doing leggies, and I'm gonna stick pretty close to your sketch. I was gonna change them quite a bit, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm gonna just start by just laying them in and seeing. Again, I'm just like focusing on shapes to start, just to see how the form of the character does.
I like that I can just like switch on the fly quickly. So I added some color to the, like, filled in the eyes and the mouth and the teeth, which I think is helping make this look better. And I'm going to use that same red here to emphasize these veins, I'm just doing them on a separate layer, which is fun. Just keeping it a little bit loose. I'm trying to decide if I want to like add, like make this with like texture to make it, because I've been doing that a lot with my work for a while now, and I think it might be a way to make it more my own. Also, sometimes I think it's fun to give a little nose color, like a little pink nose.
A little pink in the nose for sure.
I like
I
that.
might even give it a nose.
Also think I want to bring this yellow down like that. I think it needs a separation. Oh, you know what Wolverine needs? He's a very hairy guy. Like I drew all the hair, arm on the hair, but we need some like shadow, like 5 o'clock stubble shadow. So I'm gonna make a selection of that inner part, and then on a new layer, I'm gonna grab. Oh, you know what? I can use one of my pattern brushes that'll work really well for this. Let's use the little blobs. I think little blobs will be good. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good stubble. That's what I'm talking about. So this is like an organic shape, just like pattern, but you can press. It has pressure sensitivity, so you can get like lighter amounts of it. So that looks pretty good, but it's coming up too high, so I'm just gonna come in and erase like above the, so it's more of a 5 o'clock shadow and not anything else. Kirk, you're doing. We can. Oh, we can see your legs going on. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, working on my leg.
There's like a lot of offensive pizza talk going on in there. I'm gonna try to ignore it for now.
See if you can rise above.
I'm gonna do it. Thank you so much, Marco, channel member. Shout out. Daryl said, "Kirk, do you animate some of your drawings?"
Sometimes. I'm an amateur animator, big time. Like, I always say, like, I won't be hired to be an animator solely for, like, I always think about, like, commercial projects or, like, a client thing. If I need to, like, if someone's asking me to animate somebody else's work as part of that workflow, I won't do it. But if they need me to animate my own work, I certainly will. But again, similar to my drawing skills, my animation skills are very, like, they work for me, but they are not the most traditionally amazing. But lately I've been trying to get into more frame-by-frame animation in Procreate Dreams on the iPad, which has been really fun because that makes me feel more like a proper animator when I'm like doing frame-by-frame stuff. Because when I was getting into animation, it was all After Effects and like rigging and like puppeting and sort of more about motion graphics approach to character animation. And lately I've been doing a little bit more like what I think is kind of like proper traditional animation, and it's really fun. But mostly I try to stick in the world of like GIFs and stuff when it's things that I'm doing, just little loops as opposed to like long linear stuff. But I do work in animation often, and like will direct little shorts and stuff for clients. But that's often when I'm hiring help to actually do the animation.
So I'm deciding that I want to do this in the Rezo brushes for my Retrospleco pack, which I'm not. I mean, I keep plugging it, but it's just because that's what I'm using, and that's what I work with a lot. So I just made selections of the color, and then to select all the color at once, I just in the selection tools, there's I need to have a layer with something on it. There's a contiguous option, and if you hit that, it'll when you select one of the colors, it'll select all of that color, which is helpful, so you don't have to manually select all the individual colors. So I can come in here and just on a new layer fill in the blue like that, and then I can come back to this one, and then now I can do the same thing for the red, and you see it selects all the red. And you can control the color margin. As you can see, it got the pink, but maybe I don't want the pink. I just want the red, so you can just pull that down. But I'm actually going to allow it to select the pink because I'll just do the pink in red, but just a lighter value of the red. So on this new layer, I'm going to choose brush color 3. Actually, I want different values here. Like I want the belt to be dark red, but I don't want the veins in the nose to be dark red. So for those, I'm going to choose like the 60% brush, 60% coverage. I don't know why that is filled in. Oh, that's the tongue. That's the tongue. Oh, what did I do? I broke everything. I want the tongue to be full saturated, so I'm going to go back to the 100% for that. Delete. Okay, so we got those color situations going on, and then oh, we forgot his undies. What are we doing here? Oh, because it's a darker blue. So I'm going to put those on the blue layer, but I think what we'll do is overlay some red to make them a little bit darker. So on the blue layer, let's grab the blue. Did we do? Wait, blue was second. I'm going to go back to Kirk because I'm rambling at the moment. Pew pew! Look at that.
Yeah, I'm biting your lettering.
Ketchup John Mustard, you said, can't wait for Procreate Dreams to get an update. I agree. I think it could be such a great app, but it's so limited. Like the drawing tools are so bad compared to, or just like missing so many features from regular Procreate. Once they fix that, I think it's going to be great. But right now, I find it too annoying to use.
Okay, Procreate Dreams. Yeah, fair enough. Needs bad. Yeah, I don't. Did they abandon it yet or what? I just love how like linear. I don't know. I feel like just a very simplified drawing or animating app is so nice. But yeah, like not being able to mask things and clipping masks and all that is ridiculous. And the fact that
the selection tools and stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be huge.
Nick was pointing out that you are fast, which is interesting because you think you're not fast.
Once I'm an illustrator, like the perfect workflow is like I get a sketch and then I'm able to just play around with it. It's my sketching phase or like coming up with my ideas and concepts that takes me a really long time. But once I've kind of committed to knowing what I want to do, I can work quickly in Illustrator, and it's really fun for me too. It's where I kind of improvise. So thanks, Nick. I don't disagree. My process is slow from the beginning, but there are certain points when I start getting a little bit more fast.
He's definitely fast in Illustrator. So I was doing something semi-interesting here, so I was just coming back. Because I want the part that I have selected right now to be darker blue, I'm back on the red layer because I'm using the Rezo colors to blend them. So I selected a 50% red, and I have that to multiply. So I'm just painting over that to get that darker blue. And I think it has a cool effect. So I wanted to share that with you all. And this next part is the part that people always ask me about because it's a little confusing. It's how I'm going to make the line work without using separate line work. I'm going to use it as the colors. So all I'm going to do is go onto my line work layer and then load it as a selection. And then I'll just go to each of my colors and color it in with that color. So we can start with the red. I'm going to choose 100% coverage for color 3 and bring the brush size way up and just go like this, like that. And then I will go down to my blue layer, switch to blue, and then I will go to color 2 because blue is our second color, 100%. And now we got that. And then we can go to the yellow layer, and that's color 1. So I'll go to color 1, 100%. And we can't see because I forgot to turn blue to multiply, but that's okay. I can deselect and turn blue to, whoops, we forgot to change the color. How come you didn't tell me? Hold on. multiply. All right, now we go back to yellow, and let me choose yellow, and there we go. You can see it darkened up a little bit. So now we have that cool line work color, but it's a blend. So we get that cool effect. And then if we like take the yellow and maybe shift it a little bit, you can get some, cool effects there. I'm realizing we forgot the skin tones, and I don't want to introduce another color. So what I'm going to do is go to my line work layer and select the skin tone, and we'll make it out of the other color. So on my yellow layer, I'm going to do I don't know, 40%. We'll see what that looks like. So we got that, and then on the red layer, I'm going to do red is color 3. We'll do 40 as well. And there we go. And now we've got pretty good skin color there. We forgot the claws. I got to draw the claws, but this is kind of cool with the Rizo texture, especially because it's like comic-y. It gives that comic book vibes. Yeah. Oh, I have this on top chat. Hey, guess what? Let me change it to all chat. Okay. I forgot that we should do our giveaway. Kirk, did you have a chance to look at remind yourself what the question is?
Yeah, I got the question. Are you ready for it? Wait, it's not a question to you. It's a question to the chat. Is the chat ready for it?
Are you all ready? Okay, so, all right. We should say, because, hold on. Ketchup John Mustard just asked if I was related to Nick Swartzen. No. Do I look like him? There's been a lot of attacks on me in this chat because someone said I looked like a pufferfish. And now Nick Swartzen, and I don't really remember what he looks like, but I find it rude. Anyway, because I need to be very particular about the rules, because YouTube gets... I'm coming on. I need to put my face on the screen so that you can know how serious I am. YouTube is very particular about contests, and if you do it wrong, they will be like, we're shutting your channel down forever. You can never be a YouTuber. So we don't want that to happen. So the rules of the contest are very simple. Also, YouTube is not associated with this in any way. This is all me. I am providing you this XP pen drawing pad that I own, and it will be yours if you win the contest. To enter the contest, you will answer the question, and if the question is correct, the first person to get the answer correct wins the magic drawing pad. So it's as simple as that. It's time-based in the chat. You can answer in the chat. Kirk's going to ask the question. As soon as he finishes the question, that's when it starts, and that's when the winner will get picked. So again, this magic drawing pad that is not supplied by YouTube or anyone else, it's supplied by me, is the prize. Kirk, I'm putting you back on the screen with your face. Oh, I can't.
Oh, do you want me to put my screen on? My face on?
We need to see your face for this.
Okay. I'm ready.
All right. I'll watch the chat while you talk.
Okay. I'm going to assume my face is on the screen. I'm going to commence the question. This is a question that has a very simple answer, something that Chris is going to be able to detect very quickly in the chat, and it is as follows. Which movie that is one of Chris's favorites has inspired one of his tattoos? Also, it's an animated movie. Is that good, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like you could have put the qualifier in there because it's a little tricky.
The D word one.
Yeah, you could say that.
It's a Disney film.
Yeah, I see lots of Ninja Turtle guests, which I don't have a Ninja Turtle idea yet, tattoo yet, but I think I might get one. Okay, definitely not Moana. Definitely not The Simpsons. This is an old Disney movie.
When I had it, it was on VHS when I saw that movie.
Yeah, same. I used to watch it all the time. So
In
we're
fluffy
finally
VHS.
getting in the range when I hear Pinocchio. Keep in mind, I am an old man. So this is when I was a kid. Like The Lion King was not around when I was a kid. Sword in the Stone
It's
is
one
getting close.
or like badass.
Fox
Disney
and the Hound
movies.
is very, very close-ish based on one aspect.
Yeah, think Fox and the Hound.
Ratatouille is not a Disney movie, and also I'm older than that. Robin Hood, Milk Crate is the winner.
Nice work, Milk Crate.
Milk Crate,
Wow,
Milk Crate, Milk
wow, a lot of
Crate
Robin.
is the winner. Milk Crate is the winner. So my tattoo is loosely representative of it, but it's because of that movie and my fondness of it as a child, and also the idea of Robin Hood. There's the character Robin Hood is a fox in the movie, and I have this like traditional Japanese style fox with arrows in his mouth to represent Robin Hood. Where is it? There it is. So yeah, that's my Disney tattoo, even though it doesn't look like a Disney tattoo. So
put you on screen.
what?
Yeah. Put you on screen. You can get rid
I
of
am
me.
on screen.
Oh.
We're both on screen. So Milk Crate, shoot me. Milk Crate, also a channel member. Shoot me an email. William saying you entered before Milk Crate. I'm watching the chat live, and Milk Crates came in before you, unless I missed it. No,
Proud of you, Milk Crate.
I'm sorry. I have it set to live. It's not preferencing, so I don't know. It could have been a weird loading time, but those are technicalities. So thanks everyone. What a lousy question. Sorry, Will. Wait, Will, you're the one who called me a pufferfish too. You're very rude today. I'm gonna unleash the channel moderators. Okay. Did I say send me an email, Milk Crate? All right. Look at that. Look at that Deadpool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's coming along. I could bring him to Photoshop quick for some texture. Maybe could be interesting for people to see. Yeah.
Yeah. While you're getting it into Photoshop, I will. I have a thing to do on mine.
Okay.
So I did all this coloring and realized I didn't put claws on. So I'm going to show you what I would do to add them in, since we already did this like Rezo texture stuff. So what I'm going to do is make a new layer, go back to my drawing brush, which I use no, I'm not using the classic inker on this. I'm using the smooth liner to match the other stuff. I'm just going to draw them in on a separate layer. Just making Wolverine claws. Just winging it because I've drawn a lot of Wolverine claws in my day. And then we'll just put the ends there. And then we'll come up here and draw these ones. Is that just making sure the ratio or the size is the same? Okay, so I'm not going to overthink it. What I'm going to do is go to my original color fill layer and just make a selection of the of the hand so that I can erase the overlap. So there we go. So those are good. So on the claw layer, I'm going to go to load as selection, and then I'll just come in to each of the colors and just fill it in. But I think because they're claws, I don't want it to be full black outline. Let's just let's experiment a little bit. I'm going to start with the blue. So let's go to select the blue. Blue is our second color. And so I'll go to color 2 and I'll do like 80%. Fill those jobbers in like that. I don't know, maybe I kind of like them just blue. I think what I'll do now is select the inside of them, which I can't really do there because of the... Oh, you know what we'll do? We'll just make a new layer and we'll use there's these shader brushes in the Reso set, which have a little bit more control. So what I'm going to do is just select like a lighter one, like the 50%, and make the brush size a little bit smaller. And I'm doing this on a separate layer so that it doesn't multiply on top of the other blue. And I'm just going to come in here and add a little bit of texture. So they have like a tiny bit of fill. And then, okay. And then I can just merge that down with the blue. All right, I'm gonna switch back to Kirk and I can come back here in a bit. Kirk work.
Kirk work. Yeah, I just copy. There's a million ways to get something from Illustrator to Photoshop. And I won't bore you too much with it, but questions are more than welcome always. But what I basically did is I grouped all of the shapes in Illustrator and then copy and pasted it into Photoshop, and I pasted it as a smart object, which lets me be able to scale it up and down infinitely without losing any quality. And it also lets me go back into that smart object and change things if I want to, and it'll repopulate it back into Photoshop. Yeah, this process can be long and tedious, but doesn't need to be. Basically, what I'm going to do is a combination of like clipping masks, and basically clipping masks and groups and stuff like that, and just some basic brushes, just painting in little bits of detail. So this is oftentimes like where I'm kind of redoing stuff that I've already sort of done. Like these stroke lines that I did in Illustrator might be a little bit too perfect. So sometimes what I'll do is go back into my smart object, which bounces me back into Illustrator. I can select all of those strokes and maybe even just set them to 20% and then save. And then I can hop back into Photoshop and it'll update. And now what I can do is paint my own versions on top and then later go back in and just delete them. Just in case I want like a little bit more of a toothy, textured, brush stroke to it or something. So, I might start with that of just like redrawing in some of these lines with like a nice dark black. And then I'll also add in some, well, let me do that first and foremost. I can do it quick. Everything I would normally do, I would take a whole lot more time to do it, but I don't want to bore anyone. So I'll go fast and I'll poke my head up at the chat for questions in case anything does.
I can, do you want me to switch back for a second? Because I saw a question about,
Sure.
Someone was asking about the shadow color on the lower part of the torso. I'm planning on adding that back in. What I'm going to do is use the shader brushes to do that kind of thing. So I'm going to come in on a new layer with the red and grab like the 60% shader, make the brush a little bit bigger. And then I'm just going to kind of draw that stuff in. I don't have this layer set to multiply at the moment, which I should change. Let's see. This way I can kind of control this a little bit more and maybe do some like, oops, I meant to use the eraser, like add some highlights on like the ab parts where like it doesn't have the shading by erasing out of it. But then I can also come in and like add some, over here on the sides, some cleavage action, and underneath the pectorals, and then like I think adding in some on the eye area. So I'm just using the red to add to darken some of the blue areas like this. And then maybe we can even use it on the sides to give the head a little form. And maybe on the hands a wee bit. I don't want to get too crazy because I want to try to keep that like flat graphic look to it, but A little bit never hurt anybody. Well, I guess it did if you overdid it, but I'm not overdoing it. A little bit on the inside. I might be overdoing it. Who knows? So there's a couple spots where I like went over, and sometimes I would keep that. But if I didn't want to keep that, what I would do is come down to the original color fill layer and just select that area, and then come back to that shading layer and erase that. And I can merge that down. So that's my process there. I'll switch back to Kirk.
Okay. Just adding in textures in little areas of shadows and stuff. I can switch to this thing maybe too, so people can see. But yeah, I'm just like adding in little bits of texture where I think it could be helpful to highlight some of the overlapping shapes, especially because I don't do much in the way of like full outline. So I rely a lot on like shapes overlapping and then adding a little bit of like shadow or texture.
Can we see your screen so we can see the texture?
Sure. Super subtle.
There you go.
Just a little grain brush.
There was a question. Daryl, you said your sense of color is spot on. How did you learn to love playing with colors? I don't know. I feel like I struggle with color, but I just sort of do it. I just sort of wing it, to be perfectly honest. And sometimes it works out. I think it's just been a lot of experimenting. I feel like I say this about so many different things, but like doing the daily drawings for so many years just gave me so much room to like experiment. Like if I look at some of the early ones from like my first book, 1,000 Days of Drawing, there's just like some hot garbage in there and some gross color palettes, and I'm like, well, how did I pick this? But so I think I just sort of like made a lot of mistakes to get to a point that I was happier with.
Also, I think like keeping it simple is something that's, very good about your color palettes. I think it's always like a good, easy tip for people is like start really simple, and you can always build more colors in later from there, but it's always good to start with like 2 or 3 colors max, maybe.
I agree. I always try to limit my color. Like even though my work, most people would say, is like very colorful, I always work sort of minimally. Like I will never add in a color if I can't use something I'm already using to do that job. Like you'll never see me with like multiple like yellows or different reds if I can make it work with what I have. I keep plugging my Retro Supply Co set, but it's just helpful to use this to explain things. I made color palettes for those sets, and they're like all from drawings that I've used. And if you look at, most of them are like pretty minimal. Like one of the bigger ones are like six colors, but it's usually like 3 or 4. My color document with a whole bunch of different swatch palettes is available on its own in my shop as well as just like a PDF doc with the different color breakdowns. So there's that if you didn't want the whole set, but you were curious about color palettes and that stuff. Okay. Oh, Neat Tunes. Do you ever do conventions? I don't do conventions. I don't really know anything about that kind of stuff. Could be fun. Kirk, do you know anything about conventions?
I know nothing about conventions. We know people that do them. Yeah, I don't know. I never had the confidence, I guess, well, for me, I know I just got into doing illustration and artwork through client projects, so it sort of always like took precedent that I was getting paid by clients, so I never really relied too much on things like merch or things like that.
Whoops, sorry.
Never
I switched to the starting soon screen for a second.
So I know nothing about them, but I know people clean up at them, especially people that make like fan art and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I like to do fan art too sometimes. It's usually like a dumb pun or something like that. I'm doing some extra messy stuff on like the blue layer to get some extra grit. So I'll like use these texture brushes, but then I like to use them as erasers as well to just sort of like break it up a little bit. And like, let's see.
Kirk and or Chris works on an iPad. Kirk, you're on. Huge welcome. What workspace, page size, drawing, surface do y'all prefer? For me, what I really like about the Wacom is just I like working in Photoshop and Illustrator. I like having my keyboard and stuff like that. I like feeling grounded to that. Sometimes for me when I work on an iPad, I never really know where I am in space for some reason. But the size of the iPad is never an issue for me. Like working on a nice, like I could definitely have this tablet be much smaller and it wouldn't be a huge problem for me.
I've noticed though with like tablets, it's not comparable in terms of size. Like for example, I recently tested out the 16-inch Huion Canvas Pro, and it, although it's significantly bigger than my iPad, felt way small. Like when you're using a tablet with a computer, it doesn't feel as big as a iPad because that like in and out moving your artboard stuff is so intuitive on an iPad, and the interface. Like I feel like the equivalent of a 13-inch iPad needs to be like at least a 24-inch drawing tablet. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think, yeah, I've only used an iPad and like I've either used like really like a 27-inch Wacom or a, 13-inch iPad. That's probably fair. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I guess to be honest, I don't have a huge preference. I like working on the big machine, but it also just is nice because it doubles as like a monitor, so I can do like video editing and stuff on it as well. But I think I generally don't have a huge preference. Chris's illustration have more texture than yours. It looks better on stream as a viewer. My question is, have you used Chris's brushes? I have not used Chris's brushes, but I'll haggle with him to get them, and I'll give him a whirl. I have like 60,000 brushes, to be honest. I haven't really spent much time doing it for this yet. I usually will cake my textures and brushes on toward the end. And we can do that, but yeah, I sort of end up like smattering them on the end quite a bit, and maybe I'll do that part of the process. But I have so many brushes and textures just from like 10 years of collecting these things.
That was the same for me, and that's one of the reasons why I was excited to do the Retro Spyco pack, because I was so sick of digging through brushes, and it like forced me to like just organize all the brushes that I actually use regularly and like sort them and categorize them. And now I don't look at any other brushes because I just know everything is in my set. Currently, I just pulled my illustration into Procreate to use a paper texture, not because I couldn't do it in Fresco, but just because I just finished building out the Procreate version of my Retro Spyco set, so I knew I had all these paper texture files already in Procreate. So here you'll see that like we've got the effects that you can really control, and I can just like adjust like the ink fade and really sort of play with the texture and the contrast, and like I feel like this really adds to it. I'm kind of psyched about how this turned out. What is that over there, Kirk? Let me switch back to you. You got a different Wolverine up.
Everyone's teasing me that my textures aren't good, so I'm just bringing in some textures from another file, so I stopped getting so much shit about it.
T. Robinson, you said you just got another, not 100 days, another 1,000 days of drawing. Thank you so much.
Feeling good enough. I'm gonna add like some weird like chromatic aberration to this to get like an old cartoony style thing by just like adjusting the alpha channels of the red and the blue.
Daryl, you said the Texas-faced SpongeBob illustration in your Procreate gallery. I don't know what that is, but let's go look. Let me pull it back. I think it's not actually Texas, but Well, maybe it looks like that. So let's see what we got in my Procreate gallery. Oh, so it's not Texas. This is SpongeBobby Digital. That is the Wu-Tang logo. This is the RZA SpongeBobby Digital. I was trying to do a demo with the halftone brushes in here, but I felt like the colors weren't great. But that's the RZA version. Let's look at that. That was better. That's SpongeBobby Digital. This is my. I actually did all the SpongeBob drawings for that zine in Procreate because I was doing it when I was building the set out. So it was just, helpful in that regard to use to make sure everything was working properly. So as you can see here, they're all the color breakdowns. It's SpongeBob Halford of Judas Pineapple, one of my favorites. Also love the purple texture on this SpongeBob zombie. Speaking of texture, Andra says that you need to add a rainbow and a unicorn behind Deadpool.
Okay. Cool. I will. I might not do the unicorn because I don't know how to draw a unicorn, but I will definitely add a rainbow. Just adding in some shadows now.
Thank you so much, Andrew. You said you're excited about the Procreate brush set. Yeah, it should be available very soon. All the files are there. Q Edwards said, do either of you use Multiply with a 50% dark purple for quick and easy shading? So I do something similar.
Literally.
But actually, that's what you are doing. So I will use a light purple set to multiply. So it's like I don't bring down the opacity. I just do like a light purple, a light gray purple. I do that often.
Yeah, but I just did on mine right now. I can make it bigger so you can see what it was, but I just set this purple color, paint it on top, put it in a clipping mask, and then just drop the opacity and set it to multiply just for a quick. I mean, everything that I think both of us are doing, or I know I can speak for myself, like doing things really quickly and dirty just for the sake of the live stream so it's not too boring, but that's definitely a nice, quick, easy way to get some cool shadows on a character.
Skippy said, the unicorn comment makes me want to watch Chris draw a unicorn left-handed. That sounds vaguely familiar, and I can't remember if it's a challenge or if it's something that I did at one point, but I hate it, but I'll do it. Let me open up a file here. Actually, we'll just use this file. I'll just turn off Wolverine for a second. This is gonna be so bad. It feels so uncomfortable to draw left-handed. All right, let me get my iPad. Here it comes. Oh, I drew a horse left-handed. I don't even know how to draw a horse regularly. Okay. It feels so uncomfortable to even hold the pencil. How's it? How you doing, Kirk? You don't even know what I'm going through over here.
No, I'm working on my rainbow as per someone's request.
Looks like a hippo.
What you're drawing looks like a hippo, or what I'm drawing?
No, I'm drawing a left-handed unicorn.
I'm on my rainbow shit.
I'm on my unicorn. I'm on my shitty unicorn.
I was worried that I wouldn't know like what colors of the rainbow are, but then I realized like the color picker is a rainbow, so you just keep moving like the hue a little bit, and you'll be all set.
I never draw like rainbows accurately, and every now and then I'll get like a comment like, that was not how the rainbow or the color order. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. If I needed it to be in a perfect rainbow, I would just take a picture of a rainbow, but I'm drawing a picture because I can draw whatever I dang want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Speak your truth, gang.
I'm speaking it. What? Okay, so it's like jumping, but it's not clear that it's jumping, so I need to put something here that it's jumping over. It's just a, this is a, that's fire. These are teeth. Let's see what the chat thinks about my left-handed unicorn. Oh, we forgot the flowing locks.
All right, I did my rainbow.
Someone said perhaps a unicorn with foaming rabies. It does look like that. Procreate. I thought we were pro Fresco. I am software agnostic. I don't care about software really. I love Fresco and it's the one I use the most for my work, but it's because it works best for me. A lot of the stuff, I have a whole video talking about why I prefer Fresco to Procreate, but that doesn't mean I don't like Procreate. And I was in Procreate mainly because that's where my finished Wolverine was, because I mentioned I had just finished building the Procreate version of my Retro Supply Co set. So I had the paper textures already in there, and that's what I used for the Wolverine. Look at Kirk's rainbow over there.
Yeah, we're almost done.
It's looking pretty good. I feel like it could use a little separation from.
You want more separation?
From Easy. Deadpool, a little bit.
Okay.
Just because the bottom color is close to Deadpool?
Yeah, that's easy. Just do a white outline around everything. It's cake. Also, that bottom color is like looping back around to the beginning, so it really probably shouldn't even be there. I'll just delete it. Cake. No problem.
I wonder if I wish that I made a scene that would allow us to have both drawings nicely together side by side.
Or just faces.
Just our faces.
Is it easy to make?
You don't.
Well, you can just put my face, and I can switch my camera to my screen, right?
Oh, you know what? I can export my Wolverine and just place it on top of the scene, and then you could put yours on full screen when we get to that point.
Okay. I just need to add a little.
Wait. Turn off. Turn on Bluetooth. No. Send. iCloud drive. Hi everyone. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. Kirk, you want to say something to the people?
Sure. Oh wow, that's fantastic. Did you draw that left-handed?
Oh, you saw my unicorn?
Yeah, I see it now.
Weird. I wonder why you see it now. That was an hour ago.
Oh. Well, there's a delay. What do you want me to say to the people?
You don't have to say anything.
Kirk, that rainbow is awesome. Great. Thank you, Skippy. Very nice of you to say. They look super cool. Kirk, do you like animals as a creative soul? Yeah, playful. Trying to entering every time I read a chat, I'm like entering it with a defense that they could be being teased. So I have like my defense mechanism is up, and I'm like, do I like animals? What kind of a trap is that? Yeah, we have dogs. Dogs are something I love. I like animals a lot. They're very important to me. Yeah, I love animals. And I'm wondering if Daryl's asking if I'm a playful soul. Maybe. I think as I get older, I get a little more grumpy and have a harder time enjoying myself, but I try to be. My Deadpool feels good enough unless somebody has recommendations on what I can do next. Kirk has learned we are true evil here in chat. Yeah. Scary chat is scary.
I just blew up a giant version of my Wolverine on the screen accidentally for a second.
Oh, I'm gonna refresh the stream. I think it's like considerably behind.
Are you finished?
I mean, I'm as finished as I need to be. Unless
Okay.
someone wants to, tell me to do something different, I can.
Well, I can put mine up.
Yeah, let's do it.
There's our. You see it?
I feel like they're a pretty good collective between the two. Like, I think the Wolverine base still feels a little Kirk, but definitely feels Chris. And I think your sketch feels a little bit Chris, and certainly whatever I'm trying to say, vice versa.
Thanks. The good Chad said he loves these so much. I appreciate that. The good Chad. Kohiko, I think you should lower the rainbow a little bit.
Lowering rainbow. There you go.
Bill Illustrating says the rainbow needs to end at Wolverine's butt to tie them together. That would be funny. This
We have to try the magma thing sometime. That thing where like we can both draw at the same exact time. That link that I sent you last week.
Oh yeah, that would be fun. This was fun. I think it was successful, though there was a lot of a struggle at the beginning. I thank you all for bearing with us on that. I move this Wolverine a little bit. I hope you had fun. Does anyone have any remaining questions? I'm like live moving this image around.
All right.
You're what?
I'm done moving mine, so you don't have to.
Oh, well, I was just moving it so I could be there too. Oh, hey, yeah. Thank you, everyone. What program is that, please? Where you can? Oh, yeah, Kirk. What's that thing you were talking about?
Oh, it's Let me look on my phone. It was something with an M. It was like magma, or I'll find it. 1 second. Hold
on. Kirk Skibby asked if this noticed that you just grayscaled it, and it said, "Did you do the color tones on purpose, or just that good?"
1 sec. Let me find this darn thing. It's not far up in our chat. The reason why I did the grayscale was to shift the alpha channels of like the RGB, so I could like give it this like really subtle chromatic aberration, which is probably separate from the question that you asked. Sometimes I'll check to see how my values are. Again, like especially when I'm working on something that's a little bit more, with all due respect, important.
Rude.
No, I'm not. I just like reused a color palette, and so I think I used the color palette that I knew was going to work. I didn't do a whole lot of like color discovery during this one, so just basically lucky to answer the question. What is the name of that app? Oh, it is called Magma. Magma.com, collaborative art software. It's like Google Docs, but for drawing, where we can like just both be drawing in the same canvas, like over the internet, as far as I know. I haven't used it yet, but it seems cool.
Yeah, I'm open to trying that. We've got a few requests to do this again, so maybe we can do it in a way like that, or we can do one of these again. Who knows?
Anytime.
Now we sort of know. Oh, well, we sorted out the problems, I think. So the audio I know how to do now. The headphones messed it all up. But yeah, thank you all. I guess that's it. We will thank you for joining us. This was fun. Did you have fun, Kirk?
I enjoy it. I'll do this anytime. I'll do this every week that you need. If you run out of ideas for the live stream, you can tap into me to do this. Whoa, I am close. Yeah, very down. I enjoyed it. And thanks for all the chat being kind and nice. And not that you had to be. You can be anything you want to be. So, but thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna post the drawings on my Instagram account. So if you want to see them and have them not be on a stream where the quality probably isn't the greatest, you can do that. You'll be able to see Kirk's textures a little bit better. On Instagram, Chris Piascik. I think it should be linked in the description if you don't know that. But thank you all. Shout out to channel members. Shout out to my moderators. Thank you, Kirk. Thank you for bearing with us. And one last thing, because I get asked about this all the time. The live streams don't get deleted, but they are unpublished, so they don't mess with my channel stat info. So if you go on my channel homepage on YouTube, you'll see a playlist for live streams, and they're all in there if you want to rewatch anything. All right. Crispy Boy out.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Chris.
Bye, Kirk.